Honda everybody, and welcome back to the Moto Mill. Today we're going to be comparing Yamaha's mini enduro jt160 to Honda's baby Elsinore, the mr50. As you can see from this camera angle, JT1 does sit a little larger. I measured it just a few moments ago and it looks like it's about a 2-inch seat height difference. Handlebars are roughly the same, maybe 3 inches off from each other. JT1 is a little quicker, but I have to say that mr50 is not a slouch. I think both of them are really pretty comfortable pit bikes for having a full-size person on it. I'm 5'10 or 5'11 and have no real complaints with them. Both seem to have pretty good functioning brakes. Both of them have incredible amounts of reliability. And as you can see, both these machines are in relatively the same state of repair. They're very original and not perfect restorations. In fact, not restorations at all. Just kind of cleaned up to be used on the trail and around the farm here. I find both of these machines are a little cold-blooded. Seem to have the choke on every single time, even in the middle of summer here to fire them up. And then usually they both can't have any throttle at all for probably about 30 or 40 seconds, or they stall right out. Now, if you were going to go and compete with these bikes back in the day, I would say that the mr50 is a little more suited for motocross, coming with its cleated foot pegs and things like that. But JT1 might really be a little faster. I know it has a 10cc difference, but it seems to be a little healthier than that. There were some other offerings too at the time. This here doesn't quite accurately show it because this is TM75, but there was a TS50, I believe it's called the Honcho. And personally, I just can't imagine even riding that machine because the 75 here is already so slow that losing 25 cc's probably isn't the way to go. I would have to say that the Honcho probably is no comparison for JT1 or mr50. And then you had the 4-stroke offering. You had the Honda SL70, but we'll get to those in a different video. Some more close-ups on these for everybody. Like I said, dependability and reliability seems to be incredible on both these machines. They always seem to start. They never really give me any issues. And I really haven't done a heck of a lot to them since dragging them out of a barn when I purchased them. JT1 is noticeably heavier. I haven't put them on a scale or anything like that, but I would say that the JT is probably 30 pounds heavier than the MR. The MR I could happily pick up and throw on my shoulder to walk up just about any trail if it gets too steep for. JT1's a little heavy to do that with. Both of them have quickly removable seats. The Honda has the slotted mount so that if you just loosen the acorns up, you can slide it right out. While the JT1, like the rest of the Yamaha Enduros, it had the flip-up seat. I'd have to say personally, if I was a child back then and I had the purchasing power to actually go out and get one of these without the help of my parents, which I doubt anybody did at that young age, probably 7 or 8 years old, the mr50 would probably be the desirable one to have. Not that the JT1 isn't good. In fact, the JT1 would have been your only offering for several years before the mr50. But the MR just seems a little bit more in tune with the times. Seems to be a little better handling bike. Can't say much since I've got that petrified old enduro tire on the front of the JT1, but it holds there at least for me. But really, the machine that you probably would have wanted to go out and get might not have been quite as fast, but it would have been a lot more usable. Honda SL70, I could have only imagined that bike actually having tail light on it as well and having a registration on where you could go ride it around the street when you got older, because it does make a pretty good little pit bike or get around town bike for even a large size person, but we'll get to those in a later video. For these ones, in the coming weeks, we're going to have a shootout with them, probably with the other pit bikes as well. Get a group of my friends together here, and we'll do some drag racing with them, do some stop tests with them, run them around my motocross track, and we'll see how they do. We might get into some more shenanigans with them. If you guys want to see these bikes get in nicer shape, please subscribe. We'd like to make more content, and we'd like to make these bikes nicer. We know everybody's going to say that the MR50's tank is dinged up, and these bikes are both very far from perfect, which they are. Help us make them better. Thank you, everybody.